Jetzt geht's los.
Here we go.
So, kleiner Check, little check on YouTube.
Mhm.
Jetzt geht's los. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So this is working already. Awesome. Now let's check back to Zoom. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I hear you perfectly.
Awesome. So now let's check on Instagram.
I love that the expression on the face always when you're checking, stuff. So that's great.
Okay, I just have to, check here. Something's not working on Instagram. Let's start anew.
Mm-hmm. It's a good time to breathe already. So
take a deep breath in. Yeah, everything.
Take a deep breath. No panic. Just relax.
So I'm live on Instagram as well, and I'm gonna add you to the live stream. So I'm looking for
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Here you are live.
Invited. Did you receive the invitation?
I just send a request.
Okay, that's working too. Let me check. Yes, I see you, but I don't have a request yet. Oh, here you are.
Yes.
Hey, Frank.
Perfect. Hey there. So now we're live, huh?
All right. So I think we hear ourselves double. So I think you have to mute the Zoom part.
I just did. So now it should be better.
All right. And now let's check on YouTube as well if people can hear us actually.
Oh, yeah, that would be important, right?
No, they can't. Oh, no. Shit.
Oh, they can't hear us on YouTube?
Mm-mm. All right. So how do we solve this?
That is a great question.
Right. Maybe. Can you unmute yourself on the laptop?
Okay, so now I'm unmuted on the laptop. That's a great question.
Right. Maybe. Okay. I mean, I can hear myself double. I don't know. Hi, people. Can you hear us or do you hear an echo? So what are they saying?
That echo is funny, huh? But
yeah, we should not have an echo. There must be a solution somehow.
So how is the echo now? It's still there, huh?
No, it's not. I can hear myself better now. What did you do?
I just reduced the speaker sound on my computer. So yeah, it's
nice.
Magic, huh?
Magic, it just happened.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, with the magic movers here. Okay, so that's actually my hashtag, so very fitting. So I welcome you everybody to the Breathwork Expert Series Part 2. I have a second special guest today and his name is Frank Roser. He is like the founder, facilitator of the Breathwork Way.
Breathwork Way, yes.
Breathwork Way. And he's actually teaching breathwork, but also life. He's a life coach. He does a lot of things. He works with high performers, with athletes, and I'm very happy to introduce Frank to you guys. So Frank, maybe you just take the mic and introduce yourself before we start.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Melinda, for having me here today. And I'm looking forward to our chat. So yeah, as you said, I'm Frank. I'm a breathwork coach and I'm an American football coach. So I just love to say that this is my yin and yang. In my yang, I scream at the modern gladiators while they're fighting in the arena to really run hard into each other. And on my yin, I guide people through breathwork sessions and meditations or life coaching sessions to basically release some stress or really feel what they need right now, or until even to things like find your purpose, find your why. So that's basically in a nutshell what I'm doing. And I just love to spread the power of the breath. That's why I'm pumped that you have the series going on in April.
Yes. I mean, we met like a few months ago and I participated in one of your breathwork sessions. I really loved it. I gained so much clarity afterwards. So thank you again for that, which is why I actually wanted to introduce you to my people, because I really appreciate your work and I also like the approach, you know. So maybe before we dive into an exercise and everything else, like tips and myths and whatever, how did you find to breathwork? Like, why did you get that spark for these techniques, and why did you decide to make a business out of that and want to bring this to people?
I love that question, and it's such a funny journey, and I try to not extend it too long. But as a football coach, my dream was always to become a professional coach in the USA, in the National Football League, which is the highest league available. So I did have some internships with some NFL teams. I did some internships with college teams, and eventually I got a job there as a graduate assistant coach at UTEP. For the people that don't know where it is, I didn't know it either. It's in El Paso, directly at the Mexican border in Texas. And it was a wonderful time there. So, but when those 2 years that I had passed, my visa was running out, and the US is not the most friendliest country when it comes down to getting a visa. I was looking for other options, and I applied in the Canadian Football League and in Japan, and I ended up getting a job in Japan. So I lived there for about 8 months, and that was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. And well, it was very stressful. The life as a professional football coach is pretty stressful. And I remembered that like a couple of years ago, I tried the Wim Hof breathing. But back then, besides that I was able to hold my breath for over 2 minutes, I didn't know or I didn't feel like any benefits from that really. But however, I remembered that term breathwork. And so I was looking it up on Instagram, and then I found Francesca Siepma. She's the founder of the Mastery app and of Hypno Breathwork. And I booked my first 3 breathwork sessions with her. And the first 2 sessions were okay. But I always love to joke, well, I paid for 3. So of course I did the third one as well. Yeah. But the third one, she really cracked me there. Like after that third session, she really hit it. And I cried, I screamed. And for the first time, I felt like I really let go of so much pressure that I put on myself. And I dropped my ego of always trying to be the best I can be and really competing and comparing myself always to others. And that was one of the most powerful experiences of my life. And I was like, and that comes from like 25 minutes of breathing and just relaxation afterwards. So big shout out to Francesca. She really like changed my life with that session. So, and since then I kept working it for myself, just tried some breathing techniques here and there. And when I came back from Japan at the beginning of 2020, I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. And yeah, and now I founded the Breathwork Way.
Yes, it's amazing. So you had a full body experience, like, yeah. I don't even know if it's trauma release, but at least a lot of stress release that it had a real impact on you, like your whole being. And that's when you decided that's the way to go. You want to integrate it. And yeah. I think it's super important to highlight what you just mentioned, that it really depends. You can have an experience like the first time or the third time. It's about practice and staying open to whatever wants to occur, because sometimes your system needs adjustment. Sometimes your body just has resistance also to the work. Yeah. So just trust the process. Yeah, that's exactly it. Trust the process. It's like we're so used to that if we want things, you want them right now, right? And then there's a practice, and there are many different things like meditation, yoga, what you're doing yourself, right? And you know that sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And I really learned there that how important it is that life is a way. So that's why I called it the Breathwork Way, because sometimes you can go faster, sometimes you are hiking up and then it's going down, you fall on your face, you have to get back up. So it's just a journey, right? And yes, that's why I called it the Breathwork Way. Yeah, makes sense. And it's true what you're saying. I practiced yoga for at least 10 years, like a decade. I never understood why people are like such a fan of yoga until I switched modalities and dove into yin yoga and some more like relaxing practices that it finally hit me what the thing is about. So sometimes it depends on the teacher, sometimes it depends on the technique, and sometimes it just is about the right timing. So for you, it was the third time with Francesca. And
Yes.
so from that moment on, you started to integrate breath work. So how did you bring this into football? Because I imagine like this, tough guys, like going for battle, and then we're all breathing. Like, I know it's super cliche, but maybe you want to paint the picture.
Yeah, of course. And actually, I just love to paint that picture because that's what I really love doing. Like in the sports world, especially in a contact sport like American football, you have like very masculine energies. And as I said, like, I try to exaggerate a little bit. That's the modern gladiators, but they kind of are, right? Like they fight in an arena, and I love about the sport that at the end of the day, it's a 1-versus-1 situation, and it's either you or the other guy who lays on the ground then. And so last year, I was the head coach of the Cologne Centurions, which is a team in Germany in the European League of Football. And I'll never forget, like the first time I had my guys in our gym. There were like, I believe 40 to 50 guys in that. And I was like, okay, guys, we're going to do a breathwork session now. And they were like, okay, that little glance that you get when people are not really sure what the hell they're doing right now. But it was one of the most powerful things I experienced, because at the end of the breathwork, I let the people scream. And when I counted down from 3, some guys already started screaming. And I tried to encourage the guys with screaming, but everybody else was already screaming so loud. It's like a shockwave, And the beautiful thing is, I had to smile during that, but afterwards there were true emotions, like people really opening up and sharing deep thoughts. And you could just really see and feel how the team chemistry went up in that particular moment. And of course, leading up to this moment, well, I never forget the first post that I did on my Instagram story. I was walking through the forest, and I'm like, being that football coach, everybody knows me as that football coach. And I'm like, hey guys, I do breathwork now. It's a powerful tool. Hey, if you want to experience it, let me know. And one of my friends, Dennis Opperman, reached out to me. He's a football coach, and he was the first guy who let me loose on his team. And it was also very powerful. So it's a step-by-step process, but I know, and I'm really thankful for my football journey, because my players, or I hope at least they do, they trust me with what I'm doing. And they would never think that I bring some like crazy stuff to them that will not benefit them. But just want to finish with this, that I know that most of the football guys are super skeptical, and I love it. And I always tell them, please be, and just try it and see how you feel afterwards. And I think that's a great approach. Yeah.
That's actually one of my questions. I wanted to ask you later on, but since you're talking about it, what would you say to people who are skeptical, not even anxious, but just like, some like spiritual, new age, whatever technique? I don't need that. Like, what would you say to these people?
Yeah, it's such a great question. And I do believe like everybody has their own way, right? If you're super spiritual and you want to make a super spiritual thing out of it, great, do it. But I feel like the issue with that is that some people go so far away from like the people that are very rational based. And that's why I start to explain, hey, this is something very physical. There are the physical benefits from it. You release some pressure from your body. You can recover faster because you're going to hit the nervous system. You get first a little bit more in the sympathetic, but then in the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's super, super powerful how you can relax afterwards. So I try to hit them with the physical stuff first. And then, of course, I explain a little bit about what's happening in your brain, that you activate different parts. And I'm not starting with like, oh, you can like be super spiritual and stuff. And if you want to make something like this out of it, great. But me personally, I just love that I can do the breath work, and after that I feel relaxed. Or maybe if it's, the lobster claws, we can talk about it later a little bit more too. It's just a physical thing, and the way you breathe affects the way you live. And especially for athletes, or actually for everybody who is in a pressure situation, if you control your breathing, you have a better control of that situation that you are in. And that's something I never heard before, really. So
yeah, you regulate the stressors by changing your breathing pattern. That's what I love about pranayama so much, which is like the yogic, let's say, breath work. There are different techniques. Maybe you want to explain real quick what type of technique you're using. Are there several ones, or is there one specific technique? Does it have a name?
I use different ones. But the main thing is from the holotropic breathing. It's called circular connected breathing. Francesca invented hypnobreathwork, which showed me how you can implement into a breathwork session certain questions, certain topics. And that's so powerful. Like, let's just say you want to go on a journey about your vision, right? A vision is something, okay, what is your vision? And most people, when they get asked, hey, what is your vision? They're like, what actually is my vision?
Yeah.
And so we can breathe, we get going, you feel a little bit comfortable, maybe a little bit uncomfortable when you breathe in a certain way, but the hypnobreathwork, the circular connected breathing really helps you to get in your body by doing the breathwork, quiet the monkey mind, because you occupy it with a certain breathing technique. And then we're going to use different techniques, different phrases to really get you attached into the topic. And yeah, that's the super powerful thing. At the end, there's some visioning. And with that visioning, it's like really seeing what you want, what the outcome should be like. And I kind of do my own mix out of many things, and I just love to create scenarios. Like, one of my favorite sessions is the museum of your life, where you imagine, from the book from John Strilicke, The Coffee at the End of the World. I hope that is the English term right now, where you just like go, oh no, The Big Five for Life. I'm sorry, that's the book, where he talks about the museum day. If today is a museum day, if you would be at the end of your life and you think about that day, was it a good day? And then I just want to see or take a look about the life and the good memories, the tough memories, but the empty space, what you want to create in your life. And that's such a powerful thing. This is how I create some sessions. Yeah, I have multiple scenarios.
Well, which is great. So you have your own style. So this is why people book the session with you, right?
Yeah.
So you have your own signature, which is amazing. And when I participated at your session, I was like, no, I don't have to scream. I'm a calm person. And as you said, I was the first one screaming in my pillow. And then it was funny. I released two screams, one very high pitched from the throat and another one from the belly. So the belly one was the real one, you know, and like the warm up and the actual performance, if you want to say. And it reminds me, you know, I have a technique which is called the magnetic flow, where we also have a part where it's an emotional release technique. And at some point we release sacred rage, because we were trained to stuff it down, to not be angry, to be like in control of every emotion, to alchemize it, which is obviously important. But when we allow the sacred rage to release, it's so freeing and actually creative. Like it's important. So thanks for that work. I think it's an important like pressure release. And also the visioning is, I experienced it as extremely powerful, because I got such clarity afterwards. And it was, I think, how you framed it during the whole session, you know. So I invite everybody to join actually Frank's exercises, because it's really good. So, I have a few questions for you. So you were already touching about on some key benefits. Is there something in particular you want to add to this, or is it good? Yeah,
absolutely. Like, and I try not to make it a too long story, but one thing that I can't really explain is that I worked with a former pro hockey player, and he had multiple concussions. And after that session, I think that was one of the most emotional messages that I received from another guy. And he just said that he could remember the first year of his children again, because after that session, he had so many concussions before that some memories were kind of like blocked out, or however you want to call it. And it's not that I'm doing some particular magic here, but you're gonna change the brain waves through breathwork from beta, the phase like how we are talking right now and analyzing everything, to theta waves, which is like a trance state.
Yes.
And the thing is that you activate different parts of the brain. So again, this is nothing magical, spiritual stuff that I'm doing there. It's really physical stuff. So you can activate different parts of the brain. And like sometimes it's good to have a different perspective on things to get a different result, because with the thoughts that we keep thinking, right, we're getting the same results if we're not going to change anything. And of course, the other benefits are really like the stress relief. Other benefits can be that the recovery is faster because you learn how to drop into your, really into your parasympathetic and your body. And this is something that blew my mind. Like if we are stressed, the body cannot recover because it's always in the sympathetic. It's always fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight. But if we are in the parasympathetic, the body's like, oh, wow, now I can digest and rest. Now I can recover. And that's something of the big benefits that you get from it. And most people I did breathwork with said something like, oh, I feel at ease. And that's powerful.
I think what you touched on with the brainwave journey is actually something we experience naturally every day. Like when we wake up from sleep, it's like the journey from delta to theta to alpha beta, sorry. And if we fall asleep, it's the other way around. So what we do with breathwork is just tuning in one, like specifically into a brainwave state, which we wouldn't have naturally for longer. So this is what we do with meditation also. So there are so many like waving hands. I'm just clicking on them in the comments.
Yeah, no worries.
So it's like why we actually train or why we do meditation. It's because the theta, my God, in English it's so hard. Theta, like, you know, this brainwave state is so beneficial. You get like a new access to your intuition, it's just calming. It has so many benefits. So what we do with breathwork is like tuning into this. And then there's the mind-body connection, which sometimes we don't think about how obvious it is. Like body and mind are connected. And when we give the body space, like the body awareness to express itself, it reveals so many informations.
Yeah. That's why I loved what you said about the scream, Melinda, that you did it. So how did that feel directly after the scream when you let go?
Yeah, well, of course, relaxing, it was a relief, and it was also surprising, of course, because I didn't even know that voice was in me. So I'd like to talk about a myth. You know, we hear breathwork is like, I don't know, the new trend buzzword, but it becomes sometimes, if you hear it everywhere, it becomes confusing because sometimes you don't know, is it now pranayama? Is it holotropic breathing? Is it Wim Hof? Is it the hypno, whatever? You know, it's a word and there's so many layers to it. So maybe there's something you'd like to share about a myth that either annoys you or you would like to clarify. Maybe there's something.
Yeah, I love, thanks for opening that stage. It's, to me, it's one of the best things I read about breathwork is like that it's an umbrella term for like fitness. So if somebody asks you, what are you doing sports-wise? And you say, oh, I'm going to do fitness. Okay, great. What specifically, right? And I think this is also what breathwork is. And I just love how we humans tend to overcomplicate things. The moment you do a conscious breathing, that's already doing breathwork. And Dan Brulé says something about breath awareness. Just put your awareness on how you're breathing and don't even change, just observe. The moment you put your consciousness and your attention on breathing, you're going to do breathwork or you're doing breathwork. And I feel like, to me, and other people might have a different opinion, I just think this is the most basic way to explain breathwork. And yes, there are many different techniques, which I love. The Navy SEALs do the box breathing before they go onto a mission. And the other day I read that after a workout, you should do box breathing, the 4 seconds inhale, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds exhale, 4 seconds hold, because it helps your body to get into the parasympathetic and helps the recovery a little bit earlier. So why shouldn't we use those things? And I feel like there's sometimes so much overthinking, overcomplicating things. At the end of the day, sit or lay down, close your eyes, and start breathing. And maybe then over time, you learn how a real breath should be during the day. And then you find a different technique and then you use that. And there are so many great breathwork coaches out there, so many great techniques. And even Eckhart Tolle writes in his book Now, if you can't get into meditation, just focus on your breath, because that's the most essential thing we have. And if somebody's not believing me, well, let's just hold our breath here for 2 minutes and see how that feels.
Yes. And it actually is a gateway into meditation, right? Like I hear that a lot. People want to have, because there's like the Joe Dispensers out there who are saying, open up, change your reality, and you just have to get into the state. But how do you do this if you are a newbie, right? It's a lot to ask. So there is a pathway to it. There are techniques to it. And sometimes you need some discipline to go there. But I think it's a lot to ask to just sit there and be quiet. Usually if you do either yoga first or some sports even, or breath work, you can quiet the mind and just drop into meditation so much easier. Yeah. So I assume you have a little exercise for us. Tell us about it. How long is it? What do we need to do?
I was waiting for that part. So my question back to you is like, how much time do you give me?
I mean, I think the Zoom we're on will stop in 30 minutes.
Oh, that's great. So we can do a full session. I'm just kidding.
I mean, we have a lot of viewers. We have some people on YouTube. So I don't know. You decide. You're the breathwork coach today.
Yeah, we're just going to do like a 5-minute quick breathwork session. So, and we're going to do the hypno breathwork, which is, I'm going to explain it right now here in a second, which is just like a double inhale. And then we're going to just see how we're feeling. So 5 minutes is okay, right? We can do that. Perfect. Cool. Okay. So for everybody who's listening, watching right now, please make sure you're not doing this breathing technique. And I know it maybe sounds stupid for some people. Please don't do it while you're driving. Please don't do it while you do any other activities. Really make sure that you can sit or lay down, because you might feel a little bit dizzy. You might gonna feel a little bit discomfort in your body, maybe a little bit tingling, but it's gonna be okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna close your eyes, and then we're gonna do a 2-part inhale followed by a gentle exhale. And today we're going to do it. We inhale with the first inhale. Well, all inhales are through the nose. So if you want to clean your nose before we start, that's a good idea. and then on the exhale, it's through the mouth. So the first, yes, inhale out. And the first inhale is going to be into the belly, something like this. The second one into the chest. And then it's a gentle exhale, like belly, chest, and just make sure it's circular connected. I will repeat the technique. Everybody who's listening, don't worry too much. Just make sure on the exhale, it's just a let go. And I'm going to ask like 2 or 3 questions. Yeah.
Rookie questions. What is circular breathing? Like when you say it's connected, what do we have to watch out for?
Perfect. Thank you for that little hint here. So it means that we do not pause in between. So don't really keep it circular connected. Like,
okay.
And then of course, do your rhythm. If I'm too fast or too slow, speed it up, do a little slower. The football coach in me will push you a little bit, but it's going to be all right. So we're going to do a 5-minute. Today, we will not have any music, and which is good because you just can see that you don't really need music. You just can be. Okay.
Mhm.
And then besides that, follow my voice, and then we're good to go. At the end, we just do a 30-minute silent meditation. Are you ready, Melinda?
I'm ready to go.
I hope everybody else is ready too. So here we go. So please sit or lay down. Gently close your eyes. And with the next inhale, we start the circular breathing. Inhale through the nose, deep into the belly, deep into the chest, and exhale gently through the mouth. Belly, chest, let go. Belly, chest, let go. Really feel how your belly expands on the first inhale. Feel how the air moves up to your chest on the second inhale. And on the exhale, just let go. Accept any resistance that you might feel. Let your thoughts wander. And when it feels good for you, just speed up the breathing. Belly, chest, let go. Belly, chest, let go. Everything you feel, any sensation, any discomfort is okay. Inhale through the nose into the belly, into the chest, and exhale, let go. How are you really doing today? What is really going on in your mind and heart? Allow any emotion to come up. Everything is okay. Belly, chest, let go. What is something that you need clarity on today? An important question, an important decision. Keep breathing and let the answer find you. Breathe a little deeper. Breathe a little faster. What is now the next action step? One thing that is really important to you. Take one more deep inhale. Keep your eyes closed. Slowly come back to your regular breathing and feel what's going on within. Slowly bring some movement into your fingers, arms, and legs. Take a deep inhale and stretch yourself. And whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes. Scream if you want, Melinda. Welcome back. Now, no screaming today.
Prefer laughing right now.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I feel very relaxed, and I got some key questions. I got an awareness about key questions subconsciously that are running in a loop. You know, I have an issue in my life, and I'm focusing all the time on this issue, like, okay, how do I solve this? I can do this, 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 and this. And right now I have a meta perspective on why I'm getting so crazy about this situation. Wow. And the real questions behind it that I failed to ask myself. So thank you.
Wow. Yes. Perfect.
Yes, yes. So better questions now to work with.
Better questions to work. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you also for sharing that, of course. And this is what I so love. And this was like a 4-minute breathing, and that's it. And I'm referring a lot to Francesca, but the other day she told me, like, sometimes when she gets stuck during the day, she just is exactly doing this, like sit down, lay down, just breathe for a couple of minutes. I never did it without music. At least I had like the nature sound of a waterfall next to me while I was sitting outside, but I just know that it works without music as well. So,
well, music is emotional, and it guides a certain, you know, vibe, but I actually prefer doing yoga, meditation, or even breathwork without music. I know when I provide it to others, a lot of people seek music because they feel more comfortable, they can let go more easily, but I appreciate it without sound. So thanks for that. It worked.
Awesome. Perfect. Don't forget those questions, right?
No, they're here. They're in my awareness now. So I would say this almost concludes our little like expert series part 2. Where can people find you? How can they work with you? What would you say is the easiest way? Just share.
Yeah, thank you for opening that stage. So I have my website, breathworkway.com, on Instagram, breathwork.way. You can find me, or now I do have my own app, the Breathwork Way app, which is always available. You can have me in your pocket. and these are the best things to reach out to me and to get a hold of me. And I do one-on-one coachings, group, team, corporate, whatever. This is the best way. Or maybe on my YouTube channel, there's some free stuff. Also Breathwork Way. This is where people can find me.
Amazing. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Frank. It was lovely. I learned a lot also about the different techniques, about like your journey. I think is super important also to know where the instructor comes from, like the whole personal experience. So thank you very much. Thank you for the audience, everybody watching. If you have questions, be it now on the replay, just let us know. We're here for you. And for people who come from your audience, my name is Melinda. You can find me on melindakornsch.com, on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram, and I do yoga and pranayama. So thank you.
So also breathwork.
Yeah, also breathwork. Bye, guys. Bye, Frank.
Thank you so much. Bye.